I'm Nicholas Gruce, an associate portfolio manager at ARC, and today we have John Linden, the CEO and co-founder of Mythical Games. John, I'll kick it over to you. Can you give us a quick background on yourself and a brief history of Mythical Games?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. So my name is John Linden. Been in the game industry for a long time. Originally started my career at Activision Blizzard, so I came from kind of the traditional Web 2 PC console space. I was a Call of Duty studio, so I was a studio head for one of the 5 Call of Duty studios we had back in the day. So got to work on some just absolutely amazing games, Black Ops 2, Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, groups of games like that. And so kind of started my career in PC console. After I left my career at Activision, ended up having a mobile game company called Seismic Games. And we got to see mobile firsthand in a pretty big way. So we had a great game called Marvel Strike Force. We did some other games with Magic the Gathering and the Millennium Falcon Ride and all these just awesome opportunities with big brands and mobile and kind of that type of opportunity. And ended up selling that company to Niantic that makes Pokemon Go back in 2018. And when I left with the acquisition and started Mythical. So that's been kind of my career so far. Kind of saw PC console, got to see mobile in a big way. And really started thinking in 2018, what comes next? And that was really the thesis behind Mythical. Mythical has really been focused on kind of what we call next generation gaming. It's everything really from kind of digital ownership, relationship of primary and secondary economies. Now we're even looking at streaming tech of kind of how do we kind of reinvent how games are played, how games are monetized, how do we bring this kind of world of stakeholders into these online worlds. So that's really been our focus at Mythical. We had a first game called Blanco's Block Party. It's been a great game for us. We're continuing to invest behind that property, and we hopefully have some really fun announcements a little bit later this year. But that game for us was an opportunity to really put out a game first built around these concepts that are now, kind of considered Web3, right? So concepts of digital ownership, how do you interact? What do you have new game models that come out of these types of worlds? And then also, more importantly, too, there's a lot of policy changes, so that game is live on the Epic Games Store. It was really the first game to kind of get live on that platform. We worked through a lot of policy changes there. We worked with policy changes on the rating systems like ESRB and PEGI and all that. So there's been a lot of firsts for the industry. And we've been very proud to lead a lot of them. So that was kind of the first game we've done. The game has gotten about 1.5 million players in accounts kind of created for that game, which is exciting. Like I said, we hope to see that grow even further. Since then, what we've been building is we've really been building our own Mythical Ledger tech, and we even helped co-found kind of a foundation called Mythos that we helped kind of get off the ground, and that's now joined by about 23 companies around the world, which is really exciting. So really been thinking about how these new economies play out. We've been building tech, marketplace tech, and blockchain tech, and really thinking about how do we integrate with app stores and all that. And we're excited to kind of announce we have 2 new games coming very soon. We have a game that we partnered with the NFL called NFL Rivals. So that game's been in soft launch. I think it's over 100,000 players in that game already, which is exciting. In just a couple countries right now, and that game will be launching very soon. We have another title called Nitro Nation, which is a game we partnered with a company. They had kind of the number 3 racing title on mobile. I think just, about 80 to 90 million installs on that franchise over the last 5 years. So we're bringing out the sequel for that game. Kind of how does that really play out? How do we really kind of explore new game models around it? So that's been Mythical. It's been a very busy 4 years, and we're excited to see where the future goes.
Yeah, a lot to unpack there. And maybe we'll just, start, because I think this is really so interesting in how you're approaching the game economics and reshaping kind of the future of gaming through, integrating blockchain. But maybe for those that are listening that aren't that familiar with kind of Web3 gaming, can you give us a sense of, what makes Blanco's Block Party or, the types of games Mythical is going after different from those that maybe everyone's familiar in the traditional space?
Yeah, so we've seen, like I said, over the last 2 decades, we've seen kind of 2 really important shifts happen. One was free to play, and we went from about 100 million gamers to, nearly half the world now plays games every month. So I think we're closing in on 4 billion gamers worldwide now. So that was like this permanent shift we saw in the gaming industry that really hasn't, we haven't slowed down from there, which is exciting. So that was kind of one major shift we had seen. The second shift we really have seen over the last 10 to 15 years has been kind of what we consider UGC, user-generated content. So that could be everything from Minecraft to Roblox. It could be brands getting involved. It's esports. It's influencers. It's basically, we think there's now a world of 15 to 20 million stakeholders that are creating content very regularly for these online worlds. And that's not even including just the players themselves. These are people actually majorly contributing into these worlds. So we see more content created than any one studio could ever produce. And that's an exciting time. And the idea behind kind of where we think that goes is, we're seeing online worlds get bigger and bigger. And we think that Web3, what Web3 ultimately does for gaming is it kind of brings a new business development layer, right? We've had a lot of challenges in the past. We've had a lot of issues to where, how do you actually have the right model so that people can contribute into these online worlds and be part of that economy, right? So our view is that Web3 not only brings concepts like digital identity and digital ownership, but it starts bringing a whole new secondary economy, which you can have some really interesting gameplay. And ultimately we think is the foundation for, like I said, this whole business development layer. So people contribute, people can be part of these economies in a pretty major way.